Peace, peace, greetings, greetings to all. Uh, Gratitude to my ancestors, spirit guides, source, universe, omniverse, everything. Um, Set divine intentions to reach all the divine souls that will be led to this video for future and speak that into existence that it reach over hundreds and millions of people around the globe and in the universe. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Clear my throat. It's been a minute, I know. But the beauty of it all is that some of us have to, I've been allowing myself to rest and reflect and sit with my emotions. Um, and I have moments where it's like we're still learning. We're unlearning and relearning and learning. So let's see here. This one, I actually had to blow my nose and shed a few tears before I actually prepared this video. It's almost like what I was going through had to come up and be released, purged out, then to present this video. So that being said, um, speak through me, spirit, divine spirit. So I actually had a heart to heart with my mother, or with the woman that I came through. And so um, what I'm led to share can be very scattered to most, but in a sense, it's always about how one makes you feel, the connection there. And I want you to feel to the depths of the love that I'm emitting through this message. So I had a heart to heart with my mother, with the mother that I came through, her name being Barbara. And we set outside, and something came over me to, in the moment, it's like you don't know what's going on. And I just sat there. Then I began to express how everything began with that relationship with her. And what I mean by that is that when we are in relationships, marriages, or any connections with someone else, anyone that, we are connected to, whether it be children, family, whomever. Most importantly, I want to share this with you all, especially my divine, my women and men, but mostly this message is like a channel message for healing and what we're seeing. It would be both spoken on men and women, but it's not to say that they're indifferent. We all have the divine feminine, divine masculine traits or energies. We carry these energies. So as I was speaking to her, I was sharing with her how the foundation of what I've experienced with all women stemmed like is like that of a tree, or the root of all things that I've experienced with all women leading up to this very moment came from our connection, like with my mother, that divine. And let me express something to you as a man, and I'm going to get to the details why a lot of things is not so much about what we look like externally. It's more of what we've experienced even from when the baby is created until that moment where we're here into, to this world. Um, so I express to, I like this. I'm gonna call it my reflection. And it's like I was expressing to her, like, when I'm speaking to you, like I'm speaking to you guys now, it's like when I'm speaking to, the mother that I came through, it's like everything rooted in my childhood, whether it be how I was treated, how love was presented, how, let's say, let's just say this, I grew up in a home or homes where there was a lot of mental instability, verbal abuse, physical abuse, and or just a lot of degrading and devaluing of what a young king or man or you know being should be or be presented as or seen as. Let me say this: a lot of our parents, man, or guardians have not at this moment have not really, they're hurting. Some of them are really in a dark place. Some of them are also, as we face our demons or we face our darkness, we are the ones that are the light for them. So I was expressing to her how, um, it was as if a father to daughter and mother to son. You see where I'm getting at? So it's like I'm speaking to my daughter, mother, grandmother, great grandmother, past, past mothers, future great grandmothers. Speaking to the life, because if I'm speaking to her inner essence, it's like I see a little girl. I see past her darkness and see the light within her. And see, that's where compassion comes in. So I was expressing to her how, um, you know, in my relationships, I was going through so much to where, again, what I visualize love to be, I had family members that were not only verbally abused, but physically abused. I had men that would physically and verbally abuse their women. There was always a part of me as a child that knew something about that wasn't okay. Always something within me knew that women deserve better, and that's naturally a lot of stuff that happens with subconsciously has been programmed. And the subconscious is like the darkness. It's like a programming we've all experienced on like our blueprint on what love is. So when we see, like, as I'm speaking to her, I'm like, like you were you uh there was a moment I expressed to her how she said, it's like this is I feel like this is what we all get wrapped around to and attached to the idea. It's like this is someone, when I first arrive here, this is someone that I see as everything as a child. When a baby arrives, this is a woman that nurtured me, cared for me, did everything for me, protected me, loved me, embraced me no matter what. So that being said, it's like you see these people or beings or guardians, whomever it is, however your life has unfolded, because everyone doesn't have or didn't have the opportunity for a mother or father. But I'm like, yo, we see these people as God in a sense or bigger than anyone. So a lot of us right now in this moment, when we are healing and when we are facing the things that it's like they refuse to face, and it's like the roles have reversed, and as we're facing these dark secrets about learning about our childhood and learning about, okay, this is not acceptable anymore, but I need to accept this deep acceptance, learning like, wow, this person isn't really who I perceive them to be. So now it's like, wow, they're actually in a place where they need to heal. Or maybe I had to accept that I'm the one to show them, whether it be physically, verbally, or through all of my actions. So as I'm speaking to her, I was like, the relationships I went through, and a lot of people don't, they're learning to grasp this awareness. It's learning that all of your relationships stemmed or was rooted in the very relationships you learned from in your childhood. It laid out the blueprint for all relationships to this present moment. So let me express this to you. We all are exactly where we're supposed to be. So me just sitting across from her and I'm like, yo, it's like a counselor or it's like a therapist. And it's like it took everything in me, the courage to just say things. When you get to that place of peace, you have to say things that are uncomfortable for others, but you at being at peace with myself, I have to remove my emotions. It's not to say that I'm not in tune with them, but I'm at that place to where I can say things verbally without being attached to whatever their response is. And we have to realize not everyone is where we are. So as I'm speaking to her and she's speaking to me and I'm learning to listen, I'm like, wow. Like, not only what I saw my mother, again, the mother I came through, she has been shot twice. She has experienced so many things traumatically, like being beaten by men. I had to see things that I did not want to see. I had to, she had a battle with drugs. She would go away for a few days and we not knowing or hearing from her. So again, as a child, as someone who, no matter what we see these people do, there always is a spot. And this is why I feel like a lot of us are at that place. It's like a crossroad where we have to decide where, look, I understand, I overstand. And this is where we get, some type of overstanding and comprehend where, learning what, this mirror of me have experienced. So then I can hold a place for compassion. And so as I'm speaking and then I'm listening, I'm like, I expressed to her like, there were things said in my childhood that was done that hurt me. And it not just hurt me as a kid, but it carried on through relationship like baggage. It's like I was carrying these wounds, these unhealed wounds on my back, carrying all these things into every relationship. And then I would express to her like, you know, it wasn't until certain things reminded me of what she said, what she did, what her actions were being happened in my childhood, and then it being triggering me in my adult stage or in relationships up to this moment. And so what that did for me, it triggered, but also it it was like it was like the neglected or the abandoned child that was being triggered. It was like a spark. So it was like reminding me of like, look, this is still here. 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 And it didn't matter how far I went around the world, how beautiful the woman was, how much money or anything anyone had, whatever relationships I was in, I had to realize that. And I was expressed to this to everyone. Some of the most important relationships you need to have is not only, or let me say, conversations or exchange with people, are not just relationships with yourself, but through the connections. Some of the most important conversations you need to have verbally is with the ones that you feel betrayed you in a way, hurted you, or did something that you know that it just doesn't sit well with you, no matter how far you go in life. Because we'll find ourselves connecting to other people, reliving these experiences, going through a loophole and not completing a cycle in certain relationships. And again, people you attract are a mirror of what you're internally going through and what you are afraid of acknowledging. You know, I know things, and most of us know things about our guardians and our parents that they won't ever say. So there were certain things I was expressing and to her, and I realized like she wanted to cry. She wanted to express herself in a certain way. But a part of me had to realize like that's where you have to have the courage to say the things that others are afraid to. It's not even the age. Because when I heal and say those things and it awakens something in her, then again, people, when the distance, we have to go apart from each other, whatever happens, they're able to sit with that. And then the free will comes is people are either going to hide in the dark, stay in the dark, or they're going to, those that are light workers or those that know that you have that choice to spring up, to come out of that dark place. And it's not easy for everyone. And I'm learning this through people that I'm attracting. And some of our greatest lessons are in the darkest places of our lives. And some of the people in our lives are mirrors of those dark moments. Those darkest moments that people are afraid to address, to acknowledge. Because you're going to get to a place where you have to learn that self-accountability. That I'm accountable for my emotions, for my actions first. I'm accountable for how I respond to others. It's my response to how they are reacting or acting. And then it's not even the age. It's just like a little kid, a toddler, expressing themselves, throwing a temper tantrum, or expressing themselves in any way. It's no different than some of these adults that are walking around with childhood wounds. So when I'm looking at her and it's like some people, she's not even making eye contact, and I'm like, wow. I'm just sitting there observing. It allows me to observe. And it allows me to see how much everyone in this moment, or a lot of people don't know what it is to be vulnerable. And it has nothing to do with you. It's their view and perception. And I even said this to her one day. I'm like, because a lot of us, and I'm going to express this to like a lot of people, you have to realize when people say you don't know someone's struggle, you don't know what they've experienced, you have to see how people that look like me per se have been, you know, put in this, how TV, how everything around the world has been putting our people, and I said this to her, I said, you have to see how, the world has devalued you as a woman and as all women. And then for me, as a man that stands in his power, stands in his truth, walks in his truth unapologetically, and says how he feels with passion and love, and how that is viewed as anger. And then I expressed to her, I said, no one's going to respect you until you respect you. And see, a lot of what we're seeing in these relationships or family dynamics is that a lot of the guardians and parents or whomever, there is no accountability. There is no self-awareness until those that have done the work and look within and learn what the spiritual walk is all about actually approaches people and let them know. Like, hey, are we going to choose to heal, or I'm just going to leave your ass here. And see, that's the responsibility. James Baldwin once says, if I love you, I'm going to make you aware of the things that you don't see. And see, this is what it is. It's that the whole world is like this. Everybody's like this. And then certain things they want to see. They're like, oh, I just want to see this. Or I just want to see that. Or I just want to see this. It cannot be like that no more. Truth shall rise from the earth now. And that's what's happening. Is that you have men such as myself that honor his feminine and his masculine attributes, knowing that now is that you honor the warrior. I honor the warrior within me, but I also honor the feminine aspect, which is can be both warrior and can surrender, and love that aspect. I also had to realize as I'm speaking to her, I'm speaking to all women. Seeing things in my childhood, I had to realize, like, what was her experience? Have I ever asked myself, like, what was your experience with men for you to see, like, how is healing going to take place if your perception of men is just, they're going to verbally, physically abuse you? See, it's no difference than when we see people in this just because they're older doesn't mean that they're not battling with things. They're going through things. Maybe they convince themselves that maybe no one else is going to understand or understand. This brings healing. That's what some of us are here to fucking do. Is that as much as I want to sit back and be like, you know what? Nah, I'm just going to keep going. No. Because it brings more peace. It brings more harmony. Because some of us are in homes where love is not even a foundation. How are you going to move forward? How is anything going to grow if love isn't the foundation and the roots of everything? So what you see being displayed right now is that a lot of us, especially our women and men, little boys and girls that have learned this programming of everything that has nothing to do with genuine love. And now we're seeing this display and this ignorance of everything that has nothing to do with love at all. So it's us. It takes for us to actually show the way. Some of us know that when you emerge from the light, your greatness is going to come. That's when your greatness begins. But your greatness has always been there. So as I'm sitting with her, I'm sitting with my daughter in a way of like speaking life and listening to her and allowing her to feel appreciated, accepted, acknowledged. Not about what she has or what she does not have. A lot of people are just wanting to feel acknowledged, accepted, appreciated. So we are the God and light for them. And so again, it's like I'm learning through not only myself, but through our connection. And then that right there helps me to build now. Because some of us have to start over. And you know what? That's just what it is. We have to learn how to forgive and open our hearts and not carry these burdens of what our parents and grandparents and great-grandparents, what they have done. I've seen that. Some of us know that in relationships, the family dynamic doesn't even exist anymore. You have certain people, the family dynamic is scattered because this person is going through this and this person is jealous of this person and this person. And then again, when it all comes down to it, it's all the truth of the matter is that love will heal all of it. But again, a lot of our parents, a lot of people, they wasn't groomed. A lot of them didn't, come from homes where they were embraced. And I'm learning that through the fact of even I'm learning that through through the mother. When I'm like, hey, give me a hug. Some of that is not normal to people because, again, how they view people through their lens is that, is this, first of all, is this man gonna hurt me? Doesn't even matter if you are, you're this person's, son or whatever like that. Some of us still supposed to share love anyway, because that's the way we're gonna keep things neutral here and in balance with the universe. So I share shit with y'all to let y'all know, bro. A lot of us then, it's not always the same story, but everyone has a story. Everyone has a song to sing. Again, yo, the shit that I saw my mother go through, and then again, when a man being there, but that wasn't the father that co-created with her. A part of me wanted that, wanted the father that I knew that was out there somewhere to be a part of that. Yeah, there was a man there, but again, this is the family through my lens as a child. This is what I knew family was. A lot of us are breaking away from that illusion of what the idea or the illusion of what that family structure was simply an illusion. And now we are unlearning, unraveling, releasing, resetting, removing all these things to build a firm or foundation upon love, a foundation, a solid foundation upon bricks, a foundation structured in divine love that cannot be unbroken and immovable, that is immovable, that's untouchable. So trust and surrender. I had to surrender to a lot of this. And now it's all starting. I realized there was no rush on anything, no matter my age, no matter anything. I could have went around the world 3 times and still those things that I did not face, I still had to see the woman that I came through, that spirit gave me. And then spirit gave me her, or gave me her, and I was her gift. Because a lot of us don't realize, like a lot of our parents and a lot of people don't see us as a gift. We are here. We are lended from the universe. They don't see us as a gift because they don't see themselves as a gift. Some people see themselves as a fucking curse here on earth. Some people really are accepting that they are here to suffer. And so when they accepted that and they choose to stay in the darkness, then they project that onto, whether it be kids or anyone. It doesn't matter the title. They project what they feel, how they view themselves within. It has to do with what they're going through internally. So trust. It's a beautiful journey, but at the same moment, again, a lot of our parents, people didn't grow up in balanced homes or homes that were loving. So if people want to know anything about those kids that are in certain areas, and whether you want to call it the hood or whatever it is, some of us knew that we already had ourselves. A lot of us grew up, we didn't have we had to make do with what we had. Because we as much as we wanted to run away, and a part of us didn't. It's so fucking deep, bro. A lot of us, man, we couldn't wait to run away, honestly. And so that's why you see a lot of violence, and a lot of that shit has to do with self-hatred. It's not about no color, man. This shit happens in a lot of homes that people don't talk about. But now what? Where's the support now? When there's a man that wants to speak about this shit. I express to you what I share with my mother about why, as you see this masterpiece of my divine partner, my reflection, and then before Ali arrived, I express to you how this came to be. or how I express to you how humanity in the whole is different shades of people, but different colors. As I was speaking to her, I was sharing with her like how, you know, me dating or connecting with women from, me, my, I didn't, I talked to women from all cultures. Even when I was growing up in middle school, high school, whatever like that. Again, it didn't matter who I would talk to, grade schools or whatever. But for some of us men, if you want to call us black men, African American, I like to say indigenous or native to this land, or whatever. Some of us knew that our most important relationship with women was our mothers. Especially, this is the woman that would feed us. This is a woman that would make sure everything was taken care of. Especially a lot of us that grew up in single parent homes, or people that grew up in homes, and again, a lot of verbal abuse or a lot of stuff that was said. It's like I said to her, I said, how would it make you feel as I'm your son or someone that came through you, and how would it make you feel if you told someone you're not shit, or you won't ever be shit, and you know if you're at just all this, sit your ass down, all these things that people don't know what we go through. And it's not to say we're pointing fingers. It's like that sticks with a man. It's like sticky notes. It's like every time someone say something, it's like, and then you go in the mirror. It's like, how could I see myself as this beautiful king or emperor, or this magical being, if the first being, when I first arrived here, and I saw that, okay, this is someone that's gonna save me from this world, or this beautiful woman that I saw that helped me, that guided me into this world, that watched my first steps, or that saw me do all these things. How am I supposed to really view the world if this this being, or this person, a reflection of who I am, has poured into me, has projected onto me that I am nothing. I am all these things but beautiful and divine. And as I was saying this, I can see in her eyes she was tearing up. And this is not to hurt, it's just to show people like, this is how I felt through the years, through time, and all those things. So a lot of us, it's not just the verbal abuse, it was the ass whoopings. Because I knew that when a lot of our guardians or parents were angry, they would, you know, use it on us. They would whoop us. They would do things, and I knew it in the way it hurt them just as much as it hurt me. I always knew something within me knew I came from something greater, to why I knew I didn't deserve this. There was moments where um, I had to go live with my grandmother. My grandmother was a strong woman as well that had to raise a lot of grandkids. But I got to a point where enough is enough, where they would try to whoop me, I would run away. Because I knew I was something greater than to be beaten on, or to be talked to in any kind of way. To not be seen as this high and beautiful and magical being. And so for men that look like me, that really go through this shit, they know to the depths. They may not share it, but let me tell you, they fucking know. It's like, no matter what that woman does, or, it was always something that will always spiritually connect you to your mother. Because we had this image of seeing her and this woman that, you know, there was always something that connected us. And see, this is what people don't realize. It's the spiritual aspect. There's always something that connects you spiritually. because this is someone who carried you from a little star, from a ball of light. When the placenta was created, she carried you in her belly for 9, to 10 months full. And whatever she experienced, you experienced. So this is what a lot of men don't express. So as they're going through relationships, and then they seeing the most important women, again, because your mother mirrors all women, just as a father mirrors all men. So when we're in these relationships, we're seeing mirrors of ourselves, the father and mother within us, the divine feminine and masculine within us, mirror back through others. So me experiencing, these things in childhood, how can I accept? How can I truly see a woman? Because deep down, what a lot of men won't express to you are beautiful people is that they're in conflict with themselves. They're waging war with themselves, because here I am trying to find, no matter what it is, it's not just so much of love. To the depths of what it all is that man, truthfully, to the fucking depths of all of it, he wants nothing more than peace. Peace in his life. Doesn't matter where he is on his journey. See, I've experienced things traumatically through what I've in my past, to where any woman that comes along, and see, subconsciously, if I haven't healed and embraced my darkness, which I've experienced through women and through, whatever I experienced, whether it be police, beauty, a lot of stuff, through school, where I was in school, where, they, come on, certain areas in the South where nigga this and all these things. And it's like a man is just, he's trying to find himself in the world. If he cannot find his peace in himself, the last thing that he wants to do is to attract a woman. No matter what she looks like, is attract a woman that can bring forth that peace that he is seeking. And that peace that he attracts is that what we call a wife. Because she brings him something that cannot be measured through anything material. She knows that she brings to him, he attracts something within himself, knowing that he has to first go within himself to seek that peace. That's the inner essence. That's the inner child. So if I'm going through relationships, and yes, it's important, because this image that I saw of women, being that from the root, if the images like of my grandmothers and aunts and cousins speaking to me and saying all these things, and they view me as this, how can I see myself as a masculine, as a king, as an emperor, as a warrior, as a divine being? How? I gotta find that strength within myself. I gotta dig deep within myself to find that, because no one else is gonna give me that. But it was through those experiences with all those people that now I am immovable. Now that I will not accept anything but that of a divine love, divine truth, divine wisdom, divine peace. So that's what it does. Doesn't even matter, truthfully, what a lot of what men really look like, their nationality. But men per se that look like me, that that have grew up in a lot of these traumatic experiences, they're looking for peace. And so what happens is that I expressed to the mother, it's like, before Aaliyah arrived here, it's like I was in relationships. And then before I met Aaliyah mom, this is what this masterpiece, the heart and the man holding on to love, is that I was in a connection with a sister that was more fair skinned, but will be presented as like, someone say, oh, she's black or African American, whatever. But the fact of the matter is that it was how this sister, I was giving my all. I was pouring my all out. And it was how this sister would speak to me. Comparing me to other men, oh, you're not this, or what else do you bring to the table? I had a sister that asked me that. But I knew deep down in my heart, I will always pour my heart. I will always give my heart. And that's why it's like the heart was ripped from me when these things were reminding me of what my mother. And see, the thing about this sister, or the sister that I attracted, I give gratitude to it now because I had to see my worth. I had to put my foot down, and I had to learn, because leading up to those relationships, there was relationships where verbal abuse led to physical abuse on both parts. There were moments where I had to, through seeing my mother manipulate men, seeing, again, this is not to point the finger. It's just things that were programmed that I took on as a child. And that was my love language. My love language as a man. And see, this is what y'all have to get. These men, or what we're going through, it's not only that we're not crying out for help, it's that we're just seeking peace. Because we no longer want to be manipulated by women. We no longer really care for how they look physically. Because if they don't have peace within themselves, how can you give me peace? How can you offer me peace if you're not at peace with yourself? How can you see yourself as a wife, or as this, this, or do you truly value your spiritual aspect? Do you truly love yourself to where whatever you offer me, it doesn't come with an attachment to something in response that I have to just give, whether it be money or material things? And see, again, a lot of us learn that through our childhood. So again, in these connections, I had to learn. I had to learn the lessons and why I'm attracting these women, why I'm attracting this. And to this very moment, now I see the importance of all of it, and I give gratitude. I give gratitude to all the lessons. Even to when I saw Aaliyah, like I expressed to my mother, when Aaliyah arrived and I saw her arrive here, it changed my whole perception on life. It showed me like, wow, this is where I came through. Two people can come together and create something so beautiful. And it's through those cycles, it's through those experiences. Some of us choose to change. Some people just afraid. They choose it. And darkness ain't nothing. Some people just choose to stay in the dark because they fear the light. They are afraid to change. And so now the world is changing because people the world is shifting because people are fucking acknowledging and facing their own darkness now. That's why you see the truth and all the manipulation and all the deceit and all these things coming up and purging out into the world, because it can no longer be hidden. Because once one person acknowledges and faces it, you have it trickle down to the next. That's what generational healing comes in, and that's what generational wealth is when you see the inside of what it is that you're here to do. So this is not just this is a masterpiece. This isn't just art. That's the same hand that I had to learn. That's the same hand that used to harm. Now I chose to heal. This is the same mouth that used to harm and speak ill intent. Now I choose to speak life. This is the same, you know what I'm saying? That no longer is me. That's the past. but your past is your future. So that's the thing about learning what true alchemy and learning what transmuting your darkness into light. There will always be those that, oh, this and this, but guess what? No one knows what it is for you to go through that cocoon and come out as a butterfly, but you. And our word needs, we need this empowerment. So, as I expressed to the mothers, like visually, I'm seeing women that look like me, that would speak to me. So when I attract these things, it would trigger certain things in me. And this is why you see a lot of men, it has nothing to do with them running to other cultures. That man is seeking peace. So that's why people had this perception on, oh, he like this women, he like this, he like, trust me. It's not that I ever forget where I came from and came through. But when my partner arrived, and the beauty of all of this is that I never, and she can express this to you whenever that happens, but she, what some people are like, oh, she's white or she Caucasian. I wouldn't ever call her white. I will always express to her, like, we're somewhere down your lineage, there's someone indigenous. You can see it in her structure. You can see it in her bone structure. Um, I will always share with her, like, okay, certain places are where you from, this is how a lot of people came to be. And I would share that with her, just as I would share that with anyone. And this is through my own evolution, through my own growth. So that being said, as I was going through something with someone, somehow, some way, the universe orchestrated for us to just, we knew knowledge of each other. But I was expressing to my mother, it's like, here I am experiencing, going through all these things that were just hurtful. And my inner essence, my inner child just couldn't take anymore. And so it didn't matter what woman came along. Her mother, Aaliyah's mother, came, and it was how soft spoken she was. And then not only that, it was her kindness. It was the peace. She approached me. It was like a beacon of light. So again, that gave me that within me, when I was at a point where I was coming out of something so dark, going through stuff again, just, going from house to house, these codependency things, trying to, find myself in other people. But at the same time, I still was offering the love that I knew I had within myself. But again, when I met her, it's just like we had knowledge of each other through basketball, just, through other people. But it was just, when you meet someone, that it's no accident. It's all divinely orchestrated. And again, it doesn't matter what I went through with anyone. Everything was worth it. It was all worth it. This is where I was at a place where I wanted to give up on everything. I was going to give up. I was in a dark place to where I didn't, I was like, what's after that? But again, certain people show up on your path as a blessing. Some people are lessons in your life. Everyone is a lesson. Everyone is a teacher in your life. Your mother, your father, whomever it is, everyone is teaching you what it is to love yourself, what it is to return to the essence of who you are. Because deep down, all men have this idea. Those that that live from within and have a soul purpose. Deep down, they have this divine feminine, or this ideal, this imagery of what all women, they see all women through a lens. And truthfully, a lot of it starts, or whatever they're experiencing comes from the root of what mother figure was there. Same with women. As much as as much as people at this moment don't want to acknowledge it, a lot of people are being faced with their darkness because they're realizing how much they have carried until this very moment. Even if they have kids, even if they've been married 2, 3 times, whatever it is. A lot of people are getting that awareness now. And see, a lot of us, we get these things in divine times, like increments in certain things. And we meeting these people, we realize like, wow, how much that I really haven't been loving myself, how much I really haven't been taking care of my well-being, my mental health, how much I really, you know, you realize how much you've been neglecting yourself. You realize how much the mirror of what you experienced with your parents was just for you to learn this lesson now not to do. So you change the narrative. You complete this cycle. And then you move forward. Some things you just share and enlighten people on and you come and then you keep going. And then you come, circle back around, circle through. And again, no one is the same way you left them. And that's the true growth. That's what true ascension is within yourself. If I had not, met her mother, this masterpiece would have never be what it is today. If I had not met sisters or anyone, if I had not came through my mother to this point, what would be the purpose of this all? So I'm expressing to you, yes, we all are crying, we all are going through things, but never give up, never stop, keep going. Someone did not get up, someone did not make it, someone, every second, every minute, someone is leaving this earth, someone is coming through. Some of us are here to heal when we have family members leaving or certain things happen, it happens purposely because some of us are here to bring in another lineage or another lineage created upon divine love and truth and honor. We are here to create that legacy. We are here to create a different narrative to where people can come together and love on each other. People can hug each other again. People can share with each other again. We can actually sit down and heal each other. Because that's what's happening, people, okay? This shit in this world had to be shaken up. Some of us have to be our own peace so we can share peace and compassion and love with other people before they depart. Give yourself your flowers, but also give others their flowers now because you never know. I had to accept within myself, like, yo, I will not at this moment as a man, as a father, as a guardian, as an uncle, as a brother, whatever, why do I need to carry anyone else's burdens or what they've experienced when I first need to be acknowledged and become aware of first what I need to do here? And when I do that, when I take care of me, that take care of everyone because it is connected spiritually, collectively to everyone. A lot of this isn't easy. But if you want to know why a lot of men are going through what they're going through, and women, and children, because when we heal and face our things, it's also connected to our kids. Those are our guardians and parents. So when I heal, I know. I see it reflected back in the family dynamic. I see people start to talk about stuff. I'm like, wow, y'all sitting down doing this? Okay, wow, okay. And then now we can use those things in the dark and make light of it. Creating a book, creating a podcast, creating a YouTube channel, writing a journal, sharing things that we can, that's all a part of our legacy. Our mothers and fathers or our guardians, whomever it is, some of us that had to take care of themselves, or they took care of us, so for us to take care of them. It's a cycle of life. So many people are walking away and just giving up because the love was never there. It's so easy for people to give up because the love was never there. That's why you're seeing a change in the world now and a shift because the love was never there. This is a system the foundation was never built upon love. It's a foundation, a faulty foundation that was built upon sand. That's why you see it crumbling. But it has to happen. It has to be destroyed. A foundation that was built upon darkness. And then now who you here to see to bring the light to the awareness of what we're seeking, that the world needs healing, that we need healing. All these distractions. The world needs healing. All these social media is how you use your platform. They're distracting you from you. Even certain relationships, you know who you are. Everyone, you have to accept that some people are going to stay in the darkness, and you are the one that here to emerge and to ascend into the light. And they have to watch you. It's like when you see a light or something fly up, a butterfly, they have to watch you. That's this divine will. That's divine order. They have to watch you. That's okay, because you know what it took to get there. Give yourself your flowers now, because we don't know when our moment is. And give others their flowers now. Some, you know, you are here. That's why I set my divine intention. This is going to go to the world, to millions and hundreds of millions, to all divine souls. Because now we can change that narrative. Now you can really, like, come on, it's, like I said, when I met her mother, it was something in people's eyes. You can see to the depths. It's like, you know what? We're here to change something. And sometimes we have to accept the fact that everything is not meant to be this way. We're not here to, be with someone forever. That's what we're learning through this whole process. We're learning to detach and what genuine love is. You don't hold on to a butterfly. A caterpillar doesn't stay in the cocoon. Everyone is not a butterfly. Some people will come at it as a moth. But you know who you are. Some people have to see you as a butterfly. Then they no longer want to stay a caterpillar. Some people will stay in that place. Some people will choose to be a caterpillar. Some people will choose to stay in the darkness. It's like it's levels, but in a sense, it's all connected. It's just like the hand. You need all fingers to grasp and to create something. But at the same moment, what would make a hand? You need all. So we're all in this collectively. You're attracting those, and you know you're here for a mission. And some of you know deep down, you had to get and forgive and break free of this illusion of what you assumed love was. And now you're grasping that light. You're seeing that light is eternal. You're seeing that light is forever. That flame is forever. And then now, no one can dim that. Now we're making the world more brighter. At the same time, that's neutral. You're here to keep things neutral. We're all doing what we're supposed to do. There's a balance in everything's polarity, dark and light. So as this happens, something else is happening. As this something catastrophic happen in the world, then you have some of these people. It's like ants. When you see rain come through, they all hold on to each other till they get to a spot, and then with dry land, and boom, they build again. It's just like people. When things are going to happen in our lives, it's like a rushing river. Anything in the world, it's just like something catastrophic happens, a tower moment, things crumble. The ones that do not give up and give in, the ones that surrender to the flow and trust that this is happening. And then you learn to be still, and you learn to build again. These ideas. Then you connect with this person and you realize, oh, they wasn't sent to harm me or hurt me or to, do these things. No, the awareness is they were sent to help me heal myself. They were sent to help me see my light. They were sent to, be a guiding light for me. To guide me to my own self. To show me back to my own self. To get out of that victim, let go of that victim mentality and walk in victory now. So yes, when you change, when things start to pour into your life and stuff come in, you no longer look at like, okay, this don't really even matter no more. Do I really need all these things in my life? Just as clothes, material things, just as people, do I really need this person? No, I don't need them, but do I want them to be a part of my journey? See, that's the free will. We get to a place where all of us is that, you know what? I love you. I love you enough. I love me enough too. I love me to where I can genuinely letting go is that it doesn't have to seem uh, like a painful experience or suffering. You see, that's through growth because we had this idea of, being around those that we love the most, but you gotta love you the most. You gotta love you too. You gotta love you genuinely. So when it's that moment to move and shift, there is no attachment. You can let go with love. You can let go through love and free yourself. Then when you free yourself, when you let go, you're freeing them as well. So that's how it's just like a baby doesn't stay in a mother. It comes through the canal. And see where now that's the awareness. You come through your mother. We come through the mother. We don't come from them. We come through. Like a guiding light, we come through. They come to teach us something as we come to teach them. And so now you set yourself free when you learn that, oh, I don't come from my mother. It's not that I don't need her. I want her to be a part of my life because it's like it's like I know that connection is still there, whether she's here physically within my life, anyone, or whether and then even when they leave this body, there's still a spiritual connection. There's still a spiritual connection no matter how far I am. I can still, call her or I can still, whatever it is. But it allows oneself to free themselves. It allows you to free yourself from attachment. And see, we're learning what selfish attachment is and freeing ourselves as mothers and fathers, freeing our souls, freeing ourselves from this illusion. So, man, I feel better. I'm glad I just don't hesitate no more to just get this off, but I trust and I know that this message will resonate with, I'll say all, but I appreciate you. Give gratitude to where you are. Look at where you are now. Life happens for us to expand. Things happen for us to expand. Anytime something is under pressure or, it expands. Expanding our horizon, expanding our views. As we go higher to certain places in our life, our perception as we elevate, whether it be like a building, you're here. See, some people are here. Then as you elevate, like you're in the elevator going up levels, and then you reach to this peak, but you don't forget this place because it's like a dark place, but at the same moment, it's all how you perceive it. But you knew what it took to get there. Everyone is, it's like people are at different levels, and so their perception on life is not to say that they're wrong, is that their perception on life is no different than yours. I'll listen to that song. I'm gonna share a song with y'all. Ooh, Mary J. Blige, My Life. She said, if you looked into my life and see what I see. This is why we have to realize that perception. What is our perception on life? Is it rooted in love? Is our perception in life rooted in fear? And see, that's saying like, are you afraid to grow? Are you afraid to be a butterfly? Are you afraid to really be who you are? Are you really afraid of what people are going to say? Do you fear how the world is going to view you? Do you fear how you're going to view you just because you're changing and everything is changing and everything is energy? So what are you really afraid of? Are you afraid to blossom? I never knew anything in nature that was afraid to change. I never knew anything that in nature, again, that is afraid to change. A tree is not afraid to blossom. And notice these things aren't afraid to die. Nothing in nature is afraid. It's the natural. It's it's the circle of life. Nothing is afraid in nature is afraid to die. Nothing is also isn't afraid to live. So it's like when you let go of that concept, and it's like how we see it's like spirituality in life. It's like you have to die like your past self. You have to die an old you to become a new you. Every day, every moment when you let go of this idea of that I have to live this certain way, I have to go work for this person, or I have to do this, or I have to. But do you want to? Do you want to because is that what your soul calling you to do? Or is that something that you feel you need to do for acceptance or validation? Or it's because of fear of how being viewed? Everything is changing. Everything will always change. And nothing is going to ever going to be the same. I always express to people you will never be the same after I have a conversation with you. You will never be the same. And that's because I'm authentic. And that's because I want to be authentic. I want to live a life that is free. I want to live a life that is harmonious and that's blissful and that's beautiful. I want that for me and I want that for my kids, kids, and forever. So it's like, what do you really want while you're here? What life do you want to experience while you're here? And do you feel like you're worthy of that? Do you feel like you're worthy and you deserve these things? And that's a part of feeling worthy, but that's the part of knowing what's inside, knowing that you are limitless, knowing that you are fearless, knowing that nothing here can keep you from truly surrendering and living your soul purpose. There's nothing that can get in the way. The surrenderance and trusting is like that of a jellyfish totem. I saw a spiritual meaning. It's like a jellyfish, it surrenders to the water, to the tides, and it surrenders to wherever the ocean leads them. And it trusts that wherever it goes, this experience is going to be worth it. So look at your life, self-reflect, and realize that if you're still here, I'm still here. I still have something to do. And that something can be nothing to you, nothing to someone else, but it can be everything to me, to the little child, to the baby, or to whomever else that is watching. Peace and blessings, clarity, harmony, abundance, prosperity, love and light. Embrace your darkness. Know that you are whole, you are divine, you are magical. Shalom.